Hello, welcome to Yoga Flow. So today's class, we will be doing our warm-ups through sun salutation variations, but we're also going to bring in the moon salutation in with it as well, because we're in new moon season. When we're in new moon and full moon season, I love the moon salute series because if for no other reason, the moon just happens to be my favorite celestial body. So I always like to honor the moon in that way. So for this one, if you can, I recommend taking your mat horizontal to the screen, because that way when we work this way and when we work center and we work that way, it's easy for you to always see if you need to do that. And my back is never to you. Blocks, I recommend having one on each end of your mat. And then we will use a strap towards the end of class as well. So from here, we will start with a comfortable seat. So I'm sitting on a folded blanket. I like to be a little bit higher. You're welcome to do that as well. And just be where you're comfortable here. And then think about ears, shoulders, and hips in alignment. Zip up from pubic bone to behind the navel. We're going to grow taller, but not so tall that you can't relax to the face, the shoulders, and the hips. We'll take a slight tuck in the chin. And we'll come into our breathing here. So just notice anywhere in the body, if you could soften just a little bit more. And we're going to go into our 4x4 breath. And so we're going to inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. That's all you want to do, that's fine. If that Ujjayi pranayama, that victorious breath is in your practice, that's the back of the throat constriction, the sound breath. I encourage you to bring that in. You could just do it on the inhale, the exhale, or both together. Either Anyway, it doesn't really matter, and it takes a while to get coordinated to do both at the same time. I cannot talk and do the Ujjayi breath at the same time, so I'm just going to assume that if you want to do it, that you're doing it, and if not, you're just breathing to my count. So we'll take a big exhale here to prepare. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your normal breath. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen, touching palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Creating an intention for your practice. What would you like to give or receive? Maybe you want to dedicate this to someone or something. And once you have that set, we'll inhale, take it up. Exhale, take your arms about shoulder height here, and we're just going to find that rotation. Good. And you can always do this slower than what I'm currently doing it as well. Good. And then from here, we're just going to bend from the elbows, coming to goalpost arms. We're going to get into the shoulders a little bit. So we're just going to come forward. Think about a separation of the shoulder blades here, and we'll come back. Think about us squeezing them together. But try to keep your trunk and everything controlled. So we don't want to pop the chest forward. We don't want to round. So rib cage stays in. And you can take this a little bit faster. You can keep it slower. It all just kind of depends on you. Good. From here, we're going to open. Good. This will not be comfortable for most people, but it's good work. So we're just going to let everything kind of come forward. And then we're just going to take it back. And we'll come forward, feel maybe those tight rotator cuff tendons and connective tissue. And one more time. Good. And coming up. From here, when you're ready, turn the palms towards you. Take the hands to the shoulders and just go into some nice circles here. Good. And then we'll just take that in the opposite direction. Good. Okay, from here, just kind of shake that out, get any little movement that your body's wanting you to do. So it's that shoulder circles, neck circles, maybe a spinal roll, maybe you want to take a stretchy here, maybe other side. Find what works for your body. And when you're ready, we're going to come to all fours. We're going to set up for cat-cow. And I will offer you your different options here. So just as a little side note, this can also be done on forearms on the floor or on blocks if you're a little bit risky today. But I'm spreading my fingers wide, rooting through knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. Knees are about hip width apart or slightly wider. My belly button is in. So here's your basic. Inhale on the cow. Exhale on the round. Okay, so there's your basic. Semicircle. Inhale, cow. Exhale as you round. You'll sink down on one hip. Moving through center. Rolling onto the other side and then reversing that. And then your dynamic cat-cow flow. Inhale on the cow. Exhale, we'll round as you round, sink back into a child's pose. Inhale, forearms drop, shoulders in their pockets, shifting forward. Baby push-up right into that cow pose. So take a few moments to explore yours, moving to the rhythm of your body and your breath. A few notes on the dynamic cat-cow. You want your elbows to be in towards the body. So the bends of your elbows are going to face forward towards your fingers versus inside here. Good. And then from here on your last round, find a child's pose. So knees can be together as wide as the mat. You can make the big toes touch or not. You can take your arms long in front of you or hands back by the ankles. You choose. We're going to be active here. So we're going to zip up from pubic bone to behind the navel, belly button into the spine. Find expansion in the rib cage. If you are choosing arms long in front of you, could you walk your fingertips up just a little bit? Notice how that changes your child's pose just slightly. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. And we're going to come up. We're going to come right onto the belly. So we're kind of changing things up just a little bit here than we normally do. So sometimes I do this one in a modified sun salute A. We're just going to go ahead and do it here. But I'm on my belly. I'm going to take my hands a little forward into the side of my shoulders, and I'm going to roll them back. Elbows are going to come down. I'm lengthening through the low body. My belly button is in. Pubic bone is into the mat. Maybe I lift here, baby cobra. No crunching of the spine. If you feel that, you're up too high. And we'll lower that back down. Lengthen, 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 belly button in. Maybe we find that baby cobra again. Maybe we find a medium cobra. Careful not to hang in the back. Careful not to hang in shoulders. Make your triceps work for you, and we'll come down. We'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Belly button in. Find your baby cobra, a medium cobra, or a high cobra. If the full upward facing dog is in your practice and you want to go there now, lower just a little bit, tuck the toes, and we'll find that. I do mine on the tops of the feet. Coming up onto the tippy toes here is always okay. And then when you're ready, we'll just lower that back down. Give yourself a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Hands under the shoulders. We're going to work back through a tabletop position. Good. Maybe coming back to a child's pose here for a moment. Just countering some of that extension work. And when you're ready, from tabletop, we're going to find our downward facing dog. So hands are going to come a little bit forward, maybe half a hand's width or full. Tucking toes, press in and forward into your mat, and we'll lift the knees and come back here. So hips, knees, and toes are going to track. Press evenly into big toe and pinky toe mounds. I'm pressing evenly into knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. My shoulders are in their pockets. My head and neck are free. Belly button is in. You can stay here. I recommend bent knees if you're tight in the hamstrings or have some low back issues. You can start to lengthen. Maybe you want to bend in. You can do one leg at a time, going into walking the dog. You might want to lift your heels up and then lower them down a few times. Stillness is always appropriate. So find what works for your body in this moment. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, find some stillness if you took movement. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Walk or step your feet forward. This first one to meet your hands. Come to your block if you can't touch the floor. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. I'm pressing into my feet. Hands are coming to thighs, shins, block or floor. I'm in a long spine. Exhale and we'll bow. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway once more. Exhale and we'll fold. Inhale, root through the feet, engage the glutes. We'll rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding breath, mountain, and tension. Continuing our warm-ups here, preparing for that moon salute flow. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and bow. Inhale, root through the feet, engage the glutes, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale and we lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and bow. Planting the hands, step back into a plank pose. Knees are going to be lifted or grounded. If you're lifted, press back through those heels. Belly button is in. Try not to hang in shoulders. So they're back in their pockets here, or maybe they're in their pockets so you're not hanging, if you want to say. Think about maybe protracting a little bit, pressing that mat from the floor. That might be a little bit better cue. Good. From here, when you're ready, I'm going to lower my knees. I'm going to take a modified flow here. Now, flowing is not good for you. You can shift back to child's pose or downward facing dog. So I'm just modifying here. Good. And then I'm carefully taking myself back to my down dog. Good. So that little modification might be easier on some of your shoulders. And if it is, feel free to take that. If the full sun salute is part of your practice, you can do it that way for the next couple rounds. From down dog, inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll bow. Inhale, root, engage, and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. So here's our 2 sun salute A's. Inhale and we lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll bow. Inhale, step or hop back to plank pose. You choose. Take or skip your flow. Flowing is always optional here. The vinyasa flow, that is. From your downward facing dog, when you're ready, inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, roll bow. Inhale, root, engage, and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one, inhale and lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll bow. Inhale, plant the hands, step or hop back to plank pose. You choose. Take or skip your flow. From your downward facing dog, when you're ready, inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll bow. Inhale, root, engage, and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center, finding breath, mountain, and intention. Bring some attention into your mountain for a moment. So feet can be together, hip width apart. Are they, hips, knees, and toes, tracking in the same direction? Can you feel all 4 corners of the feet? Are your knees soft versus locked? We want them to be soft. When you soften, that'll also soften the tailbone a little bit, bringing you a little bit more into spinal neutral, zipping up from pubic bone behind the navel, relaxing shoulders. Good. Sun salute B. More advanced people can choose to step feet and legs together. I'm going to keep mine hip width apart. I'm going to take my arms up. We'll sit back into that chair. Press into the heels. Get into the glutes. Belly button is in. Hips, knees, and toes are tracking. Same direction here. Relaxing through the shoulders. Good. We're breathing. Should start to feel the burn a little bit here. Inhale, exhale, and we'll fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and we'll bow. Inhale, plant the hands, step or hop back to plank. You choose, take or skip the flow. I'm going to skip this one, but you're always free to take it. Remember, when we honor our bodies, sometimes we need to just honor where we are and not do certain things. And that's okay. From the down dog, when you're ready, left leg's going to lift 3-point. I'm going to bend that knee. I'm going to round my spine as I come forward, step or pick up and put your left foot forward between the hands. If you need to come to a block to help you with stability, heel to arch, you're taking this leg out wider. When you're stable in this position, then we rise. Get into that front heel. Good. Front hip will come back hip will come forward. It's also a little bit of a balance challenge here. I find myself checking my balance in this one a lot lately. Good. So we're breathing. I'm pressing to the back edge of the back foot. I'm in my front ball of the foot and the heel, so I can lift my toes here. I'm relaxing through my shoulders. Big inhale, exhale, pressing through the back foot, getting into that front heel. Keep your length as you take your path to the mat. Plant the hands, swivel up back foot, front foot steps back. You choose, take or skip your flow. Be mindful of your form. So we don't want to flow ever in bad form. I lost some of my upper body strength while I was recovering from surgery, so I'm taking modifications until I get that back. Good. From the downward facing dog, right leg's going to lift 3-point, bending that knee. We're going to round the spine as we come forward, step or pick up and put that foot forward between the hands. You use a block if you need to for stability. Warrior prep the back foot. Find the alignment for this side. It might slightly be different than your other side. My alignments are different on both sides. Just how I am. Front hip comes back hip comes forward. Zip up from pubic bone behind the navel. Breathe. Good. When you're ready, pressing through the back edge of the back foot, getting into that front heel, getting into your abs here, belly button in. Find your length as you take that path back to the mat. Plant the hands, swivel up back foot, front foot steps back. You choose, take or skip your flow. So I'm skipping this one. Good. From your downward facing dog, when you're ready, inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk, step or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and we'll bow. Inhale, root through the feet, engage the glutes, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, finding breath, mountain, intention. All right, we're going to go right into our moon salute here now that we're a warmer. So I'm just going to come to the center part of my mat now. Good. So I've got my blocks on each side in case I need those for triangle or something else. So your feet can be together or hip width apart. Either way is fine. It's just where you're comfortable. And I'm going to step back just a little bit here so you can see better on the camera. So I'm going to make what I like to call a Charlie's Angels mudra here. So I'm pressing my thumb and pointers together. Good. I'm going to come up. So I'm going to squeeze my ears with my biceps. I'm zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel. So I'm nice and tight in the midsection. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a tick-tock here. So this is a version of standing crescent. Let's feel that nice stretch from side to side. Good. And then from here, I'm going to come back to center. I'm going to take my hands back to prayer. Step up. Good. We're going to step out our feet here. Good. As I step out my feet, now I'm going to turn hips, knees, and toes inward. Good. So now I'm rooting into the heels. I'm rooting into the balls of the feet. So I should be able to find a balance and be able to lift the toes. I'm zipping up through the front body. So while we're here, let's make the most of it. We're just going to take a little squat and press and squat and press. So some things to notice, keep going as you squat. Notice the quality of your squat. Does this tend to be your squat folding forward? Could you be a little bit more this way? That takes some practice, especially with the knees here, but be mindful of what you're doing and practice in the mirror. Good. Let's take this squat. Let's hold right here. Good. So we'll find our goddess. Good. We're going to do a gentle twist. So I'm just going to twist gently towards the left. Coming center. Gently towards the right. Yes, things are burning and that's good. They're working to support us. We'll come back up and I'm going to come back up here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this leg, which happens to be my right leg, in here. So I'm going to take a warrior prep with this foot. My left leg, this leg here is going to be my front foot. So I'm setting myself up for warrior 2. So you want to have a heel to heel, heel to arch, or take this leg a little bit wider here. Good, and then I'm just going to kind of settle in. Watch your front knee. You still want to be able to see that toe. If you can't, take that foot more forward. I'm going to take front hip back slightly so my front knee can track easier towards my pinky toe. I'm pressing strongly through the back edge of the back foot. I'm zipped up into my front body. Good. With a bent knee or a lengthened front leg, we'll take it back, find exalted. If you like to arm wrap or bind here, feel free to go there. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Finding warrior 2. I'm going to lengthen the front leg. We're going to come into triangle from here. So front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. I'm rooting in. My front knee is soft and unlocked. I'm lengthening. Remember, this is about length. This is not about a forward fold. When you can come no more, take a thigh, a shin, a block. Remember, your block is 3 heights, a floor yogi toe, or you can open up here. Think about a stacking of the shoulders. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Look down at that front foot. I'm going to put a bend in the front knee for transition. I'm going to take both hands down. Some of you will, some of you won't need that block to help you with stability. I'm going to swivel up that back foot. Good. You can take a hand on either side of the foot or leave your block right here. My front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. I'm going to lengthen that front leg. I'm lengthening my torso, pyramid variation. I'm pressing back through the back heel. My back heel is not grounded. Long spine. Your front hamstring will let you know if you need to stay here or if it's safe to hinge in a little bit deeper. Okay. So for example, if it feels funny, pain, numbness, tingling, burning, feels like something's going to rip, then we don't want to fold deeper. We honor where we are. Good. Inhale, look forward, look down at that front foot. We'll put a bend in that front knee. Good. You can use your block if you need to. I'm going to frame this front foot. I'm going to let that back knee come down. I want that back knee to be behind my hip here. So if you can't pick up and take it back there, take your front foot a little bit more forward. You can stay grounded. You can come up onto the thigh. Maybe you can release, zipping up through front body. Devotion. Maybe we want to add a little bit of a back bend here. Good. And this is where it's going to get tricky. Different people are going to transition different ways. We're going to come up. We're going to transition to a half moon. I'm going to take my hands down. I'm going to tuck my back toe, lifting that back knee until I'm in an up runner. Some of you are going to come into this from standing. And if that's you, especially if you're a beginner, your back foot's going to come up to meet your front foot for right now. Those that are ready to take your block forward and to the side of your front foot, and then maybe you come right into that half moon from here. Good. Okay. Woo! Little balance challenge there. Good. So hip, knee, and toe of this foot are going to come this way. Good. If you started here, you can take that block and you'll come into it from this way. Okay, so it's another way to come into it. You can also come into up against a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture, preferably a couch. If you're like, there is just no way that I can do that today, your left foot's going to be your supporting leg. You're going to practice your balance standing on one foot. And there's days when I cannot do half moon. And this is what I do. because you still want that balance challenge. Good. Now, those of you that went into that half moon, hands are going to come down to the floor in the way that's best for you to get there. Good. Hips are going to come even to the floor. You're going to reach that right leg back. So now you're back into the left up runner. Hands are going to come on the inside of that foot. You're going to come around through center. So now you're in a wide-legged forward fold. Pressing the outer edges of the feet evenly here. Good. So from here, you're going to do a couple things. One thing you're going to do is you're going to find maybe a deeper fold if you don't want to stay here. So maybe you want to take your hands more forward, shifting hips back, maybe forearms drop. Maybe you want to grab yogi toe or the outside of the shin here. Find something that works for you. Think about length in the torso. So come out of a C curve if you went into the hump. Soft knees. Okay. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll bring the hands back in line with the hips, going into a twisty. Left hand's going to come under the face. Hips are going to shift to the right. We're going to open and twist to the right. You can stay here or you can wrap around. Inhale, exhale, we'll take that back down. Hips come back to center. Right hand under the face, shifting hips to the left, press away and we'll open. You can stay here or you can find your wrap. Inhale and lift. Exhale, taking that down. Hips come back to center. From here, heels are going to turn inward. Hips, knees, and toes are going to turn outward. We'll bend those knees, taking hands to the thighs. We're back in goddess squat. Good. So from here, let's add a sunrise flow. So we'll come up and we'll come down and we'll lift. Good. Again, watch your squat form. Are you hinging forward or can you be a little bit more vertical? It will not be a perfect vertical. Good. And from here, we'll hold right here. Good. While we're here, we'll take the hands to the thighs. I'm going to take my right shoulder in first. I'm just getting a little twisty stretch. Coming back center. Good. Opposite shoulder will come back in now. And come back center. Good. Pressing through. All right. We're going to do that whole series onto the other side now. So now the foot that was your front foot, which happened to be my left foot, is now going to turn inward. Warrior prep. My other foot is going to turn towards the back now. Find your warrior two stance on this side. Heel to heel, heel to arch, or take this leg wider. Good. Find your warrior two. Relaxing through shoulders. Front hip will come back just a smidge. You should be able to see that front toe. Breathe. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, lengthening the front knee or keeping it bent. We're going to take it back into exalted. If you did an arm bind or a wrap at this point on the other side, maybe find that here. Inhale, exhale, warrior two. Preparing for triangle, lengthening that front leg. Front hip will come back hip will come forward, root your feet in. Soft front knee, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. When you can come no more with that long spine, take a thigh, a shin, a block the floor. Good, and then we'll open up here. Again, think about a stacking of the shoulders. Remember your block is in 3 height. So if you're on the highest one and you're like, this is super easy, go down to the middle height or the lowest height. Challenge yourself, but maintain good form. Good. Looking down at that front foot. We're going to put a bend in that front knee as we transition and come down. So now you're in that right up runner. I'm going to swivel up the back foot. I'm going to bring my block here on the inside. Some of you won't need the block. You might just frame the foot. We're going to go into that pyramid variation here. So my front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. I'm going to lengthen that front leg. I'm pressing back through the back heel. Back heel is not grounded. My front knee is not locked. And I'm lengthening here through the torso. Remembering that front hamstring will let you know if it's safe to fold in or if you need to stay where you are. From here, when you're ready, looking down at that front foot, we're going to put a bend in that front knee. Use the block to help you for stability if you need to. I'm going to lower down that back knee. So now we're in a low lunge on this other side, making sure that back knee is behind your hip. You can stay down here on the floor. You can come up to the thigh. Maybe you want to release. Keep the front body nice and zipped up tight so we don't aggravate the back body. You can stay here. Maybe you want to open into that little back bend. And we'll come up and we'll come down. So remember, different people are going to do different things. So this is where we come into the half moon. So some of you are going to tuck the back toe, lift that back knee, step that foot forward, come into it a different way, or just stand on one foot. Others are going to grab the block, taking it forward into the side of our supporting leg. Maybe a couple taps will get you there. Coming up and opening up. Remember, hip, knee, and toe track forward. Try not to let the toe turn in or turn out. Press into the heel, press into the big toe mount. And breathe. It's harder than it looks. I was at the wall for a long time, couple years or so. So never be afraid to practice there. And as you gain your confidence and form, move out a few inches from the wall. And then one day you'll be able to hopefully do it in the middle of a room. And then from here, little balance check again. Carefully come down. Hands on the floor to the block. Hips are even to the floor. I'm going to step it back. Good. So now I'm in that back up runner. I'm going to take both hands on the inside of that foot. We're going to walk it back around. Good. Now we're back into the wide leg forward fold. So making sure of your toes, pressing through the outer edges of the feet. Maybe you want to fold in here again. Maybe you do the same thing you did before, or you try a different version. Find length in the torso. Head and neck are free. Notice how this feels to you now versus the first one. And then from here, when you're ready, good, I'm going to come back up out of there. Hands underneath the shoulders. I'm still pressing to the outer edges of the feet. We're going to go back into that twist. My right hand's going to come under my face. I'm going to shift my hips to the left. I'm going to press and open to the left. Arm can stay up there, or you can find a wrap. Good. When you're ready, inhale, release. Coming back center, hips come back into center. Left hand comes under the face. Shifting the hips to the right, pressing through, will open. You can keep your arm up there. You can wrap. We'll release, coming back down, hips back even to the floor. Heels are going to turn back inward. Hips, knees, and toes turn out to the side. Put a bend in the knees, hands to the thighs. Find that nice goddess squat again. So here we go. We're going to go back to sunrise flow, and we'll add on a vitality wheel. So I'm going to take it up and bring it down, and up and bring it down. Good. Now, some of you are just going to work. Maybe you do this, take the arm component out. Maybe you just want to hold it here and got a squat. That's still very challenging. Otherwise, you can follow me with the vitality wheel. So what I'm going to do with vitality wheel, I'm going to take my arms over to the left. Good. Moving to the right, up and around. So we're just going to stay with the circle in this direction here. Good. Now, the next time you come over to your left where you started, pause, and we're going to reverse that circle. So now we're going to come up and come around. So you can do this slower. I wouldn't do it super fast. You'll lose your balance here. You don't realize how balancing it is. We'll pause back at the left. Now we're going to alternate. So coming towards the right, pause on the right, and we'll switch. And we'll switch. And we'll switch. One more time. Taking it over, switch. Good, pause. Come back center, pressing through. Okay, you can heel toe everything in, or hop it center. We're gonna start or finish where we started. So legs can be together or a little bit wider apart. Good, come back to your little Charlie's Angels mudra. We're gonna lift, zipping it up. Good, find your little TikTok. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll come back heart center. Good. So I hope you enjoyed that series. There's different ways you can do moon salutes. So I put some things in that aren't in the traditional one and took a few things out. So I hope that what you got out of that today was great. We're going to come back to the top of our mat. We're going to work our way down to the floor, and we're going to stay there for the rest of the class. So from here, big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll out. Inhale, step or hop back to plank pose. You choose. Take or skip your flow. Good. And once you've made it back to your downward facing dog, we're going to come to the knees. We're going to come back to a child's pose. So knees can be together as wide as the mat, somewhere in between. Big toes can touch or not. You can take your arms long in front of you or hands back by the ankles. You can let the abdominal engagement go here, but keep expansion in the breath, just so that you're a little bit more relaxed in this one. And notice how this one feels versus that first one we did. And then from here, when you're ready, hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. And we'll carefully come up. Good. We'll come to a seat. I am going to bring my blanket back in here to sit on. Good. I'm going to take my feet forward. So we're going to do a few dynamic movements here. Stretch. We'll also get into a little pose here that nobody likes, but it's good for us. So if you want to bring in a strap here for this forward fold, because you know you can't touch the feet, that's fine. Legs can be together or a little bit wider, be where you're comfortable. Support the backs of the knees. If you need to keep them bent, then let's come into an anterior tilt of the pelvis. So tailbone rocks forward. That's wrong. Hip bones rock forward, tailbone rocks back. Good. I've got flexion in my feet, so I'm taking my toes towards my face. Good. Big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, dynamic movement. We're going to hinge and come forward and come back up. And we'll come forward and come back up. And forward, come back up. Forward, pause. Hands will come down. Take it where you can take it. Breathing into your back body. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, carefully come up out of there. Good. So we're going to go into a movement first before we come into the one that nobody likes that we did in yin this week. So I will give you some different options. So what we're going to do is a variation of deer, and those of you in Pilates Reformer or something like that might recognize this as Z, Pilates Z. So I'm going to start by taking my left leg back first, and my right is in front. And then we'll come into a twisty here. If this is not for you, you can't keep your hips grounded, knees, hips just don't like it, stay. Take your feet more forward here. Take your hands behind you. Belly button is in for support. Go into a nice little rotation here in windshield wiper. And that will give you a similar desired effect. So be where you're going to be here. You're following me. Inhale, exhale. We'll take that twist to the other side. Roll that back shoulder back, maybe looking behind you. And roll that front shoulder back too. Inhale. Exhale, we'll come back to center. And we'll just take that twisty to the other side. Breathe and expand that rib cage on your inhales. And coming back center. So carefully come out of here. And we'll just take that right into the other side. So get yourself set up for success. If you're sitting on a blanket like I am, you might have to kind of readjust it just so it doesn't get in the way of your leg. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Find where you're going to go, following me or doing windshield wiper. Big inhale. Exhale, take your twisty. Rolling shoulders back, looking a little bit more behind you. So even as you look behind, feel that little bit of a neck stretch happening here. Inhale, exhale, coming back center. We'll take that to the other side. Rolling shoulders back. And inhale, exhale, coming back to center. And the best way for you, carefully come out of here. We're going to take our legs back long and just kind of shake that out. All right, find the anterior tilt of pelvis. So tailbone comes back, hip bones come forward. We're going to get into some nice patellar tracking work here. So again, a lot of people don't like it because it's hard regardless of level. So do what you can. Don't worry about what you can't. So we're going to start by lifting the right leg first. Good. Hips, knees, and toes are going to face the ceiling. To take this out of the quads and the psoas muscle a little bit, hinge forward. I shouldn't say take it out of the quad because it'll still be there, but a little bit less hip flexory. So hinge forward. Good. And then when you're ready, try to pick up that right leg. And you're not going to lift it high. And you might not even lift it at all, even though it might feel like you are. And that's okay. It took me a while to be able to do it. Good, and we'll lower that back down. Come back up, rub, 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 bounce, 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 do what you need. We'll do that to the other side. So flexion in your foot. Good, find your length, find your hinge, and then maybe we can lift that left side. Whew. And noticing if you're better at it on one side than the other, or maybe not so much. And we'll lower that back down. Coming back up, shake, or bounce, 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 rub, rub, rub. Do what you need to do. If you're like, that's the hardest thing I've ever done, and how could it possibly get a little bit more challenging? Do again what we just did. If you're ready for more challenge, we will go there. So coming back to the right leg, toes, knees, and hips are going to turn out away from the body now. Then same as before, find your length, find your hinge. Now pick it up. You're going to feel it a little bit more right through here. And breathe, smile, and we'll lower that down. Good. We'll come up, bring that leg back forward, bounce, 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 rub, rub, rub. Last one, last time. Good. So if you're going to follow that, we'll take those toes, knees, and hips and turn out away. Good. Hinging forward with that length. And when you're ready, see if you can pick it up. Breathe. Breathe. Smile, relax that face. And then from here, we'll lower that down. We'll bring it back in. Rub, rub, rub. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Woo! Glad that's over. Okay, let's transition here. We're going to come onto our backs. And you can just come onto the back however way that you need to get there. I'm going to bring my strap in where it's handy. If you know that a supported bridge with a block is in your future, have at least one handy. If you like to stack two on top of each other, have them both handy. Have some space on either side. Good. And then from here, whew, when you come down there, just take your knees into the chest and we'll rock, rock, rock side to side. Okay. We're going to do two bridges here. The first one's going to be pretty basic. The second one, I'll give you an add-on with or without the strap. So I'm going to take my feet down. Hips, knees, and toes are going to track here. I'm going to roll my shoulders under just a little bit. I want to reach long and strong from shoulders to fingertips today. Just a little bit extra engagement. And then from here, getting into both feet. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to rock that pelvis back, and I'm going to pick up one vertebrae at a time, the best as I can. Your body will let you know when you should not come up any higher. Try to keep the pelvis even. Good. And when you're ready, starting from the mid back, we're going to lower that down one vertebrae at a time. When you get all the way down there, if you need to take your knees into your chest for a moment, go ahead and do that. Now we're going to grab the strap. So some of you will do it this way, some of you don't need to, and that's great. So we're going to do the hand clasp underneath. And for some of us, that clasp is not real comfortable or accessible because maybe we've got some shoulder or wristy issues. So I like to bring in the strap. And I'm going to go ahead and set myself up. So I'm going to bring my strap underneath my tailbone here. Good. So from here, everything's the same with the legs. I'm going to go ahead and roll my shoulders under just a little bit. Big inhale. Exhale, pressing through my feet. I'm going to lift up my hips. Some of you are going to roll your shoulders under a little bit more and do that hand clasp. Others are going to pick up that strap. You're going to work your hands together, rolling those shoulders under. Hands or strap are reaching towards the heels. Reach towards the heels, towards the feet. Good. So those of us that need to use a strap, now we're doing that same chest and shoulder opener than we would be doing if we had our hands clasped. Clasped. I can't get that word out right. That's okay. Good. From here, whatever you're holding on to, a strap or your hands, carefully undo, carefully lower down. Undo your shoulders, bring your knees in, and rock, rock, rock side to side. Let's gently take head and neck from side to side here too. Okay. Let's take our strap. I'm going to start on my right foot because that's the foot that is facing the camera currently, or closest to rather. Good. You can put a bend in the other knee or keep it long. Now I've got both straps into my right hand right now. I'm letting everything settle into the socket, and I have a micro bend in the knee here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my core to control this movement. The smaller the movement, the easier it is to control. The larger the movement, the more core you have to engage to control it. So I'm just going to take a few little circles, and then we'll just do that in the opposite direction. Good. And then we'll come back to center. A strap in each hand. Find a grip that's appropriate for your range of motion. Grow a little bit more, I don't want to say taller, but lengthen a little bit more from crown to tail here, belly button in, and then we're going to bring that in towards the face. So you want to keep the knees soft. Some of us are going to be a straighter leg. Some of us are going to be a little bit more of a bendy leg. That's okay. Remember, pain, numbness, tingling, burning, not normal. So if you feel those, back off until you do not. And we'll release that right here. Taking both straps into the right hand, toes, knees, and hips are going to turn out away from the body. You're taking that leg into external rotation. So your heel's going to swing in towards the midline. Both hips, both shoulders are going to stay grounded, and we'll let that leg fall out to the side. You can relax into the strap, or you can give a gentle tug in towards the shoulder. Breathe and expand through that rib cage. Come back to that intention. Good. We're going to bring that back up. Good. Toes, knees, and hips are going to come back in line with the face. I'm going to extend my left leg long now. Both straps into the left hand. Good. So some of you are going to have a bendy knee, some of you longer. Some of you might have to move that leg around to find your sweet spot. Some are going to be in a nice 45-degree angle. Some of you are going to come all the way over, full body stretch. My wall's in my way here, so this is about the best I can do. But if you're coming over, keep your leg in line with your hip. Try not to let the foot flop on the floor. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, I can't not let my foot flop on the floor, prop that leg up with a strap, blah, 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 with a block. You're already using the strap. Prop it up with a block or some other support. And then when you're ready, we'll come back into center. Good. We'll put a little bend back into that left knee. Remove your foot from the strap. Cross that ankle over that knee for figure 4. You might stay here or you might bring it in and maybe a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. Good. And then when we're ready, we're going to take that all to the other side. So carefully undoing. We're going to take the left foot into the strap now. Good. So both straps are going to come into the left hand. Let everything kind of settle down into its socket. Soft knees. You're going to control this movement with your abs. So it doesn't matter what direction you start with your circle. Remember, the smaller the movement, the easier the control. The larger the movement, the more core control you must have. Good. And we'll just reverse directions. Good. Coming back up. Good. Take a strap in each hand. Find the grip that's appropriate for your range. Little micro bend in the knee. Find that length from crown to tail. Bring that into the face. Breathe and expand. And release both straps into the left hand. We're going to take this leg into external rotation. The toes, knees, and hips turn out away from the body. So your heel's going to swing in towards midline. Both hips, both shoulders stay grounded. That leg's going to come to the left. You can hang out in that strap or maybe a gentle tug towards the shoulder. Good. We'll bring that back up. Good. Toes, knees, and hips. Face the face. I'm going to extend my right leg long here, both straps into the opposite hand, and then you're going to choose where you go. Long leg, bent knee, 45 degrees. You can bring it over. Remember, keeping leg in line with the hip. Prop it up if you need to. Belly button stays in tight here. You're going into a twist. And then when we're ready, we'll bring that back into center. We'll carefully remove that foot from the strap, cross that ankle over that knee for figure 4. You can stay here, or you can bring it into the chest and maybe rock, rock, rock side to side. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into our Savasana from here. So carefully undoing. Good. You can let everything come long and just kind of flop open. Some people's backs don't like that. Maybe you want to put a bend in the knees. You can bring in other props here. So I really like using my folded blanket as a little bit of a neck and head support. You can also roll it up, place it under the legs. You can do the same thing with a pillow or props or other props. And then I'm just going to roll my shoulders back here. I'm going to see if I can make myself about 10% more comfortable. And then I will leave you here for a few moments, dropping into the heart space, coming back to your intention. Taking in some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of the fingers and the toes. Maybe running thumbs along the edges of the fingertips. Choosing stillness or taking knees into the chest, choosing to keep the upper body lower or maybe lift it up into a full body hug. Tuck the chin if you're going there. And then choosing stillness or moving any props out of the way if you used any for your Savasana time. Taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes. Full body stretch, point and flex through the feet. Bend and stretch through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, carefully bending in both knees. And you choose rolling over onto the right or left side, the side that works best for your body. Staying here for as long as you need to. And when you feel all right, then we'll carefully press ourselves up to a comfortable seat. Maybe the same one you started with, maybe a different one. I'm going to bring my blanket back in here to sit on. Good. And then we'll find a taller spine. Noticing how we feel now versus when we started. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen nice and tall. Touching palms together. Exhale, hands in the heart center. Reconnecting with that intention you made for yourself one more time. We'll take our thumbs to our forehead for good and true thoughts. To our lips for good and kind words. And to our hearts for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you have a wonderful day, evening, or week ahead. Namaste.